Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of how to get rid of unwanted CC from your Sims 4 game. Part 1 focused on create a sim and part 2 is build by objects. There weren't any build items that I wanted to get rid of at this time, so I'm only focusing on like furniture and decor items. And what you want to do is you just want to go to an empty lot and create a room with 4 walls and just start placing the stuff that you no longer need inside of the room. Of course, you want to add some lights. They can be custom content lights that you don't want to have in your game anymore. I think I use the by debug lights so I could um, have some overhead lighting to just help me see better, so I know what I'm putting in here. And I like to go through some swatches of some items because there may still be some use of that item to me if I can find a swatch or two that I like, and then I'll possibly keep it. But for the most part, I'll put it in here. And I do know for a fact that I could have gotten rid of a ton more stuff because like I said, I guarantee you I don't use nearly half of what I have in my mods folder. But some stuff is just so pretty, and I'm like, I haven't gotten around to using it yet, and I feel like I will, especially with doing more builds in the future. So I want to hang on to some stuff. So that's another reason why I didn't get rid of a whole lot this time around, because I've done some really big um, hauls of getting rid of stuff over the last few months. And I think my biggest one was I got down to like 8 GB of custom content. I was like, whoa, and really enjoyed the loading time of having my game up and running in like 4 minutes. That was the best. But it'll be a minute before I can get back down to 8 GB again because, like I said, there's so much new stuff out there that I really, really, really like, and it's really hard to part. Like and what I'll do is I'll recycle. Like if I start getting rid of stuff, I'll go and download new stuff because like I'm getting rid of older stuff that I've held on to for a little while and may have used it in the past and decorated, some houses with, but I'm like, it could stand to be updated. Some items can be refreshed. So I'll delete those things too, but that's pretty much what I'm doing this entire video is just placing objects inside of this room. And you feel free to skip to the end of this video actually because there's really no need to watch me do this. I'm literally just going through every single piece of build by, even clutter, to decide what I'm going to put in here. And it took me about an hour and a half real time, and that was with like breaks because it's so boring doing this. Like, and I think I was watching a television show while I was doing it at the same time. And then there's also items that I've realized I was missing the mesh for. They were recolors, and I didn't have the mesh. And what'll happen if you have a build by object that is a recolor and you do not have the mesh for it, you'll get an error code when you're trying to put that item, when you're trying to place it in your game. And it'll say the object footprint is missing. So then you have to either go download the mesh or just delete that particular item because I mean 9 times out of 10 I'll go look up the mesh and then decide if I wanna keep the mesh and the recolor. If not, then I'll just delete the recolor that I already have in the game. And the only way you'll be able to do that is by writing the name of that item down and going into your mods folder and searching for it. And deleting it that way because you're not going to be able to place it on the lot to delete it with the tray importer, which is what we're going to do with all of this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and just let this play through, and then I'll come back at the end once I'm all finished and explain exactly what I'm going to be doing with the tray importer. Like I said, it's going to be identical in a sense to what I did in my cast video when I was getting rid of cast items. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Alrighty, so once you've saved your lot and have exited out of the game, you're going to open Tray Importer. And the very first item listed here will be the room that we just saved with all of the CC that we're going to be getting rid of. And you just want to go over to the CC tab, which is going to list everything out. And it takes a second for it to load everything, especially if you have a lot of stuff that's in there. I'm gonna give it a second. Come on. I was gonna say I didn't have that much stuff. Alright. So this is everything that is inside of that room. Which I'm not sure how many items that is. I guess it's 191 items. That's not too bad. I know I can get rid of thousands probably, but we're not gonna worry about that right now. So what you want to do is I'm going to click on the very first item here and scroll all the way to the bottom and press and hold the shift key and click the very last item, and that is going to highlight everything on this list, every single piece. And that's a little trick that just helps you get a bunch of stuff at one time that you're trying to do something with. So once that's all highlighted and good to go, you're going to right click and we're going to go to show in containing folder, and that's going to open up your mods folder where all this stuff is, which I have some items kind of filtered differently or categorized differently inside of my mods folder. So it looks like I have one item that's part of a lot that I downloaded, and I wanted to keep the custom content separately once I was done using that lot, so I can just delete it from my game. I'm not going to worry about this. I'm just going to close it out. I don't want to delete that item because I don't know how significant it is to that build. I saved something else that was part of this. I'm not going to worry about that. I just want to deal with the stuff that was in my mods folder that was separate, which is the stuff here. And because we pressed and held the shift key and opened up everything's going to be highlighted when you come into this folder unless you click off of it. But you don't want to click off of it because it's going to be very easy to just delete it. So everything, all 190 items should be selected, and I'm just going to go here to permanently delete. And of course it's going to ask you, do you want to permanently delete? So that's 185 items after all that's said and done when I say yes, because I don't want it. And it'll be gone. Alright, and I'm going to exit Tray Importer, and then I'm going to go back in just to make sure that those items are gone. So it looks like there was a bench I put in there that's from Tropical Getaway, something that I downloaded. I think that was a lot or something I downloaded. Oh no, that's completely different. Never mind. I know what that's for. And then this plate that I'm going to keep. So those two items are the only items from this room that I'm going to keep, which is why they're still blue, and everything else is red because it's no longer attached to this file, this room. And that's what we want. So then to delete the room directly from the Sims 4 Tray Importer, you click on Files, and this is the tray files. This is what they look like, but you can open them inside of your tray folder just by clicking open folder here, and then they'll be highlighted inside of your tray folder. And again, you just want to go and delete those and say yes, and they should be. What did I just do? I feel like I just clicked on something else. Let me make sure that that actually took. Oh, it did. Okay. If it took, you will no longer see that item over here. So that means it worked. And that's exactly what we wanted. So I hope this one was a little bit, I felt I didn't completely go over all of that information in my cast video. So hopefully you were able to catch that this time around and utilize those same information that you learned in cast, so you can use it in cast as well. I can't talk for some reason. And that's pretty much it. It's very simple to delete CC, and I feel like this is the most efficient way because I know a lot of people um, handle recolors and then dealing with meshes, and sometimes when you're doing that, you're either deleting the mesh and leaving the recolor in your game, or you may that's the whole thing. You want to make sure you always, if you want a recolor of something, you always have to have the mesh for it. Otherwise, the recolor is it doesn't do you any good because you can't use it. So just make sure that you're aware of that. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Simple. Please leave any questions down in the comments. And if you guys have any sort of tutorials that you want me to go over in the future, feel free to leave those in the comments as well. I, I mean, a lot of people want to do CC shopping, which I did in the live stream. I did that yesterday actually, but I could do that again. I don't mind doing that again because I'm always looking for new CC. So that's always going to be something that I'm doing. But otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video, and I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you.